Streaming.
I think I should have my phone out to watch it.
Yeah, make sure it's working right. Come on, really?
Yeah. Shows it's up.
Hmm? It's not showing it here. That's weird.
It usually doesn't. Turn that down.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Inappropriate News Network and Something Inappropriate with Greg and Garrick to election night coverage 2020. The clusterfuck has begun. As you're probably watching prior to tuning into the real one, you've probably been watching those other fake news organizations like Fox News and CNN and MSNBC or NBC. And, well, we're just going to outdo them. We're going to have more fun with it. And we're going to drink more than they are.
None of them are drinking.
None of them are drinking. Sure. Well, I'm sure they're drinking. Who wouldn't be drinking? So, having said that, we are... let's kick this thing off. You ready?
Let's do it.
There we go.
INN, the Inappropriate News Network, your last resort for world news.
We're official.
There we go. We have officially kicked off. So, you know, we've talked for months and months and months about getting to this day. We've talked about it on the podcast and everything, but actually, everybody in America has talked back and forth about what tonight's going to mean and what's going to happen. You know, I'm gonna make an early prediction that we will have a new president by January 20th.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, even if it's third or fourth in line.
We'll have a president by January 20th.
We'll have a president. So real fast, just because a lot's already happened, we're already starting to hear in some stuff. I'm going to cut to our electoral map. So here we go. We'll cut back to this off and on throughout the night. We're seeing, this is, of course, we're stealing this from one of our competitors, but we'll let them do the legwork while we drink. So we're going to start off calling this.
It's much easier to look professional when you crop somebody else's logo off of it.
Well, and unfortunately, it's still got their logo here and there. But yeah, so here we go. Who's leading? Well, let's see. We've got Biden leading at 30 to 18, Trump with 18 electoral votes. Looks like they are... Is this them calling Biden? I'm trying to think. They've got it dark blue. 4 electoral votes and
there's a key there. I don't know if anything is officially being called yet, but it's very probable.
Well, he's got 30. He's at 30 electoral votes, and Trump's got 18 so far. So they've made some calls.
Well, dial into Florida.
Well, actually, here we go. So we've got a check marks here. So you're seeing that they're calling Trump for Indiana. That's 11. That's 11 of his 18. Let's see. I'm not seeing any of these others. Right now in Virginia, they haven't called those.
It's weird Indiana's not showing up red there.
Yeah, they have called Indiana. Projected winner, Trump. So, but, you know, we can go down to Florida right now. Florida is showing estimated 82% in. Wow, that's kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting them to be that far in this early in the night.
Well, admittedly, most of the people of Florida voted last week and the week before, or they mailed it in.
Well, this will be interesting, too, though, because if this gets close enough that they can actually call it, this is largely when without Florida, Trump has very, very few paths to the presidency. So it will be really interesting. And I know Florida and all the preliminary polling has been not that far off, you know, averaging 2% or less, which is well within the margin of error. So when you're looking at this right now, we're virtually tied. And actually, you know what? Let's reset because we're seeing some other activity out here. Texas,
Whoa.
holy shit! Let's look at this.
Wow.
Texas, wow! And yes, we're allowed to cuss on here because this is the Inappropriate News Network.
CNN's not going to fucking do that.
Holy shit! So polls closed at 9 p.m. Eastern, so they're not closed yet. We're not seeing what percentage that this is, you know, but we are well over 1 million votes in, and Biden is winning. This is interesting because Texas and all the polling, again, they're right in the margin of error, and they shouldn't be. Texas,
Well,
under any normal year, this is a red state all the way.
Well, one of the biggest issues that you have with this type of reporting is historically Democrats, you know, mailed in their votes, voted early, you know, did the absentee ballots. So all of their stuff gets counted first. So there's going to be several situations like this where you're going to see Biden, you know, start off with a lead in his state, and then, you know, slowly Trump is going to, you know, creep up and overtake. So
Yeah.
be fun to see where Texas goes, though.
This is going to be an exciting one to watch. There's a few states that, for anybody who doesn't support Trump, are going to be fun to watch. Certainly exciting.
I don't know if I'd call it fun to watch, Greg.
Well, it's kind of like the Super Bowl. You know, you want your team to win really, really bad, but you also want that adrenaline pumping, and it's going to be pumping tonight. So
You want to bring in one of our Zoom guests?
we can. Why don't you see if anybody wants to line up, come in?
Sarah volunteered to be our first victim.
Awesome. Well, tell Sarah to step on over, and when she gets here, I'll jump into that.
Okay.
Real fast, I'm going to cut back to the electoral maps just so we can kind of look through this again real fast with everybody. Pennsylvania's got numbers coming in. Well, let's hope it stays there. We are currently at 79.9% Biden, but that's only with you know less than 65,000 votes. But it can stay there all night. We'll be happy to hear that. Georgia is coming in now. We are at 11% reporting, and it's 51.6% Trump. This is not one that anybody was really holding their breath on, but it was interesting that they were in play. So we'll have to see what happens there. Let's see.
I told her to jump over. She may be on board soon.
We'll keep an eye out. She's still there.
Mm-hmm. I just shut the text.
Let's see. What are we looking at? Go back in and check Florida. It's still at 86%, and you know we're less than 75,000 votes here difference. That can change very, very quickly.
Especially with Miami. It's you know, the Miami-Dade area is still reporting, so
Yep.
I know there's going to be a lot of people there.
You know, and like you know, you go down to Palm Beach County, Biden's up considerably. It's 57, really 58 to 41 there. Broward County 66 to 33, and then Miami-Dade County 54 to 45 and a half. So yeah, it is interesting to me that not everywhere is showing. Actually, you know what? Broward's showing 99% in.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's not gonna swing
the however dark it is however close they are to being complete in reporting. So as you see, you know, Jacksonville, still, you know, there's still votes to be counted there. Miami, Tampa is still out.
The actually the percentage is how strong they're leaning one way or the other.
Yeah.
Not the percentage of that, but Osceola County firmly in Biden, which it's been a lot of discussion about the Latino vote.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, Osceola County's got a very large population of the Latino community. Orange County, 61% Biden, but that's still early in. Well, it says 93%. Doesn't sound right. If 93% is in, that's not a lot of votes. That's just about 600,000 votes for Orange County. So it seems weird that it's going to say 93%, and that might just be that the votes from today, the actual day of voting. But that's gonna be that weirdness. And of course, we've got Tampa. We've got
when I get around to making my own interactive map, I'll be sure to make that correction.
Yeah. There you go. It's funny looking at this because when you look at it and you see how the state's broken up, you've got Tallahassee, you've got Achulchu, that's the colleges up there, Jacksonville, Orlando, Kissimmee, Tampa Bay, and then the Miami-Dade, Broward area.
Cities and college towns.
Yeah, where all the people are, and the institutions of higher learning are leaning Democrat, and where all the people aren't are leaning Republican.
Sidewalks and paved roads.
There you go. It's the little things. Let's zoom back out and see what's happening elsewhere.
Texas. I'm still blown away by Texas.
Yeah. There's no new numbers in there, but he's still up. 18-point difference between Trump.
Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Texas.
Pennsylvania is still low. There's not very many votes turned in there.
We'll see how much of Trump's fracking rhetoric.
Well, and it's funny looking at some of these totals when the numbers by state. When we know nationally, over 95 million people early voted, and we're not seeing those numbers represented. So it's clear that those numbers aren't being counted in yet. Ohio 34%, and Biden's winning by a strong 15% difference there. It's fun.
You may need to pull Sarah in.
We'll see what I can do. I might not be able to do that. Is she ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Almost there. This is a very good sign.
Okay, let me just fix the window and then we'll have you in.
No, you shouldn't be about to leave. You should be about to join. What?
Of course it does.
Doesn't say that over here, so clearly.
No,
that's okay.
This is
Well, welcome to our fun Zoom interactive call, Sarah. And if we give Greg just a moment to make sure that the breakout room isn't going to magically close.
Well, I probably will, but
and if he can recrop the Zoom window,
it's the
we'll be able to see you.
Yep, no.
Returning to main screen. Wah, wah. Although hey, we're on our own Zoom call now, though.
Okay.
Well, hold on. It'll happen in 2 seconds.
No, it won't, because it's. Talk about the election.
Yeah, jump back over to our interactive map.
No, it's up. This is not up. That's up.
Perfect.
So the problem is I need to.
Yeah, so we actually have the overall Zoom meeting being broadcast. So
it's not.
I'm just hearing people. So just talking about the map still while we sort out some technical difficulties. Texas being in play is still amazing, and I know that Ohio and Pennsylvania, both on Trump's must-have states, and currently those are both fairly solid blue. So That is absolutely dynamite. Overall called electoral votes as of right now is Biden at 30 and Trump at 26. Looks like Trump has Virginia, North Carolina. South Carolina is going to be very, very interesting to watch as well. As soon as Greg figures out his window, we can pop over and see what that looks like. The night is surprisingly young though, so when it comes to people jumping into the Zoom, ooh, there we go.
Okay.
You back here?
Yeah.
Back on the map. Still shows the map. Pull this up on my cell phone and chat publicly as Garrick.
Sarah should be jumping in.
You gonna pull her or jump her? That sounded weird. Are you gonna pull her in, or does she need to jump on manually? There we go. Boom.
Okay.
You're all good. That is hilarious, though. That's gonna be somebody's ringtone.
I actually had her muted.
So, oh, you had her muted? Oh.
Yeah.
Greg resizes the window. Thank you. I put on a jacket and a real shirt.
Man. There we go. Well, that was painful. Welcome. Welcome, Sarah. Yeah. So, so what do you think of what's going on here tonight? Do you have any predictions?
Yes. Your predictions. That you should jump on Instagram right now and just start saying, "Hey, the statistics look like Trump is going to take California. All of you people need to get out there and vote."
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously? Just anticipating the city just being on fire for the rest of the week. Yeah. Remember to vote and stock up on canned food goods.
Hmm? Yeah.
That's insane.
Well,
No,
Sarah, Speaking of you mentioning that as an influencer and a person with a social media presence, that you didn't feel right about necessarily endorsing one candidate or the other. I think that we should probably do something along those same lines and make sure that we're not endorsing anybody specifically. Oh, gotcha. Well,
oh, yeah, that's why I absolutely hate polls. Polls the prediction, not polls the people. No, I had the conversation with somebody earlier today where they were talking about like, well, if Trump's gonna lose, just look at the numbers. Like, why are they afraid of rioting? And I'm like, yeah, the numbers. Remember that time Hillary Clinton was elected? All of the numbers said she was going to take it.
that's true.
Well, do you want to do a shameless butter plug? Because you made the comment and I laughed and I'm like, no, wait, that's spot on. Followed by why are you only the second most popular? Okay, I'm going to need an example of butter-themed music. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. If I'm going to log on to any kind of a butter churning presentation, I'd better hear some T Swift. What kind of an ice cream? I like it.
Nice.
I like it.
Well, let's cut back to the map real fast and kind of take a look at some stuff.
I believe Greg has an update for us.
Yes. Okay. So, start off right now. Trump is now up to 37 electoral votes to Biden's 30. None of these are really surprising. Tennessee is going to go to Trump. We've got Kentucky going to Trump. Let's see. We have Maryland has gone to Biden. Again, none of these are surprising ones by any stretch of the imagination. Michigan's still out, too early to tell. Illinois is still out. Trump is leading pretty handily there, though, right now. But you're looking at it. We're looking at like 16, 17,000 votes. That's not enough. Clearly, that to say that we're even.
It's still really early in Illinois, though.
Yeah. Connecticut, too early to tell. But Biden. A lot of these Northeast states, they're just going to be slam dunks for Biden. Vermont, of course, going to to Vice President Biden right now. Massachusetts is being called with literally no votes in. They're reading.
It's Massachusetts.
Yeah, 500-600 votes, and so we're pretty good there.
Let's see. With the polls halfway open and it's only 8:00, I think something inappropriate is prepared to call California for Biden.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. What?
Yeah, we've got a name for them here too. It's called Yal-Qaeda.
Or gravy seals. It's like Navy SEALs, but they're really fat. Of course.
This is my surprised face. Yeah.
Wow. Well, see, why haven't like the FBI or Secret Service like gone after people? 'Cause, the fact that there's no protection on a bus is insane. But at classy.
Absolutely.
It's basically us without an interactive map. No, I thought after Bobby Kennedy, all presidential candidates had Secret Service coverage.
I think that he does have some, and even as an ex vice president, I don't.
Oh
think
yeah,
it's
and there's that. But Harris was on the bus, not him though. But still, I thought there would be somebody other than like just a random staffer in a Ford Escape following the bus.
Either way, it's totally ridiculous that people do that and got away with it. Hopefully they. Yeah.
It's domestic.
Yeah.
He's only like that when he drinks. It's just it's just on Twitter. It's just on Twitter. It's fine.
He means well.
You can. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we spent it in L.A. actually, out there for business meetings.
Watching everyone get boarded up.
Yeah, well, very, very busy itinerary. We were out there specifically for work stuff, so we had to disappoint a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. There was like one moment of downtime Sunday night and just sitting outside at one of those, the outside dining places at a restaurant, just like, wow, should we call people and see if they want to get together or just go back to the hotel and call it because I'm beat. Nice. What? Nice. Nice.
So we've got some breaking news here.
Ooh, breaking news?
Yes, hold on. Let's.
Breaking news. That's all I
Okay,
got.
so let's go to the electoral map here real fast. Trump's up to 42. Again, nothing surprising. Oklahoma has come in. Again, it's fucking Oklahoma. I grew up in Kansas. We used to say, "Why is Kansas so windy?" Because Oklahoma sucks. And again, that having said that, we know that Kansas is also very likely going to go that direction. So no surprises there in the Midwest. I will say that at this point, Biden is still significantly, not significantly for the numbers, but he's a couple 100,000 up in Texas, which is kind of fun. Currently in Florida, Trump is still winning. He's a couple hundred up, but we are looking at 90%, so it's going up real slow at this point in Florida, but we are starting to get votes. Georgia is 18% in. It's swing in the state about 150,000 votes.
Zoom into Georgia. Let's just see what that's doing.
Okay, so no surprise there. In and around.
There's a lot of dirt.
There's a lot of dirt that we haven't heard from in and around the Atlanta area. We're seeing areas where estimated 0% in, but Biden's ahead. But again, you're talking about hundreds of votes. In Fulton County, we are at 13% in, and Biden's winning at 80%. So this is going to be Atlanta and the suburbs, western suburbs. Cobb County, 63.7%. So we've got a lot going on.
And there's a few. I mean, is that Savannah? There's a few outlying counties there that are surprising, actually.
Savannah right now with his Chatham County, we're at 70% for, and that is with 10%. So we're obviously we're going to expect a lot more. I believe this is going to be making down here 63, and of course, just random other cities. Baldwin County. Again, the numbers are really low, so we'll have to see. We just keep watching that because things will keep changing. North Carolina is kind of interesting. This is one that Biden is handily ahead of in the polls.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at overall about 54% Biden, 45% for Trump. So 9-point sway there. Most of what's coming in is going to be in the Winston-Salem, Greensboro area. So percentages are pretty low. Their outlying of Charlotte is leaning Trump, but we'll have to keep going again. The state overall is says 65% in, but we're not seeing a lot of that breaking out on the map other than in and around Winston-Salem. So we'll have to see what happens there. Other battlegrounds. Let's check out Pennsylvania real fast.
Wow, there's not a lot reporting in Pennsylvania.
No, and again, it's in near Pittsburgh. So we're at it's saying 6% still at this time, which I thought it was a little higher than that earlier, but it is leaning real heavy towards Biden. But so not a lot of surprises. We knew that because of the early voting that was going on, the states that were a lot of the battleground states that everybody's going to be watching most heavily is those numbers are going to come in later as the absentee balances, just because the Democrats were leaning to vote in their safer conditions.
Yeah, and you see this every election cycle. The states that have a greater population, it just takes them a long time to count. So Trump will show a fairly early lead just because he's going to knock off a bunch of the smaller states, and then yeah.
Is Todd ready to come in?
I think he is.
So we'll pull Todd in. We're going to have another guest come into our Zoom, kind of rotate through some people. And I'll get that set up here in a minute.
Yeah, we do have a fun waiting room of humans from our Zoom call.
There we go. Todd, welcome. So, Todd, we were just kind of doing a sweep down through our map, our political map that we've painstakingly had built and stocked with information as we go through the night that we have arranged all on our own without CNN's help ever.
This was all us. We had a team of programmers just
we have
data mining information all afternoon. And
just cutting edge analytics, a whole team of people.
It's powered by Watson.
Yeah.
Watson is Greg's cat.
I have a cat named
He
Watson.
runs the hamster wheel that keeps this thing up and running.
Absolutely. So we're looking at it right now. Trump's 42 electoral votes to Biden's 30. None of this is a surprise yet. None of it's anything that we weren't expecting seeing. Of course, right now the states that we're watching really, really heavily are going to be Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. Georgia and Texas shouldn't be in play, right? There's no reason that they should be in any previous year. They're just going to be a Republican stronghold, and yet here we are in a Trump world. Trumptopia. So what do you think? Like, what are you feeling?
So you're saying you don't have any fun predictions? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, no, it's mildly comical watching any of this garbage before 7:00 Eastern, 7:00 Eastern. A lot of Hispanic population in Miami, and the Cubans hate Democrats.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kennedy.
Yeah. Pretty much the second that their feet dry, they're Republicans.
Oh, great food.
They make good food. Great coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I like some Cuban
Dynamite coffee. So Todd, do you have any fun insights? What are you drinking?
Yeah. Well, that was fun. Bye.
Welcome.
Well,
Apparently, our Zoom guest audio is not on the live stream.
really?
Huh. Well, that would have made like the last however many conversations insanely fun.
Well, Todd, were you listening to the live stream at all when Sarah was on? Well, there you go. We might just be out of luck on that. We tested it early and it was working.
We're pretty technologically awesome around here. You be you.
Nice.
That's pretty fantastic. What's awesome is I'm just going to start randomly inviting people that text me about this awesome Zoom call. I'm like, oh, hold on, I'm going to invite you. So I know nobody can can hear Todd, but Todd, what are you drinking right now? What? You made it through the pandemic with that little? That sounds fair. That sounds fair. Now, you said you actually got that in Tennessee? Where was that? Oh, yes. In Georgia or whatever. Georgia? Yeah, you shot me a text, and I'm like, oh, hey, wait, I know everybody in that photo. What the hell? Oh, that's why my boss asked for Todd's contact info a week ago. Yeah,
I don't think we're going to get audio out of you.
man.
Yeah, it's just some softwares are just not designed to link in 700 different versions of softwares and web streaming and things of that sort.
Well, that sounds terrible. I wish.
Well, I'm interested to see if anybody could hear Sarah. So I don't know anybody. We've got 4 people viewing this. If anybody's watching, can you let us know whether or not you were able to hear Sarah? So that'll be interesting. And nobody's responding quickly, so there you go. Okay, maybe they're not hearing us either. Well, in the interim,
that's not the worst it could be.
In the interim, Todd, let's send you back over there, and then we'll focus on this. And if we can get you back over, we'll have you back over. Great.
See you.
Okay, we'll go back to the map for a minute.
I just got my buddy wasn't on early enough to hear Sarah, so.
Gotcha. So, yeah, we're still at 30 to 42. Let's check out these states that we've been following here again real fast. We've got Texas. Texas is the polls still aren't closed. We're remarkably close. Biden is just slightly ahead by about 20,000 votes or so. Again,
and really, what is that? Just the Dallas area is the only area that is showing, any amount of reporting from a metropolitan area. I mean, it looks like Houston, San Antonio, Austin. There's still.
That's the funny thing is that when you look at these different areas, they're not highlighted, but like if you highlight there in the Dallas area, it's showing 700,000-800,000 votes, but total votes for the state overall are over 6 million. So, I'm going to call it a failure on their software here, but the important thing is right now that Biden is ahead in Texas by a very, very small margin. We don't expect it's going to stay that way. But they are at 6,000 votes. It's staying competitive. It's interesting just because the states that we're looking at right now. Overall, for popular vote, Trump is a little bit ahead, but that doesn't mean anything at this point in the day. We're looking at a lot of these Midwest states here that people just don't live in. Mostly it's dirt. Going back to Florida. Florida with 91%. Reporting, we're looking at a little over 200,000 vote swing back towards Trump. The problem is where is this with the absentee? Have they turned those in?
And I truthfully, I think Florida is going to go back and forth all night long until they either stop counting or stop counting.
North Carolina, which again on the polling, Biden was significantly ahead in the polling. This is not expected to go towards Trump's way, but we'll keep looking, see what happens. And then finally, let's check out Pennsylvania. Again, only 9%. Biden's substantially in the lead at this point. We're coming up on 650. Oh, no, we just jumped. So we're about 700,000 votes.
And you were following the polling fairly closely.
Yes.
And was Pennsylvania, was that on one of Trump's need to haves or nice to haves?
It was a need to have.
Need to have. Okay.
So, yeah, when you look at it and you're trying to decipher it based off of the overall states. I'll pull up a graphic. I wish I might be able to build this in.
I'd build in Zoom audio before I built in that graphic.
Yeah, well, audio is a little bit more finicky on this thing than. Right now, I think a lot of this information is 538.com. If you follow them, they look at the analytics, they compare regions, previous elections, so on and so forth, poll of polls, and how the electorate actually stacks up. Currently, right now, they are saying that Biden has an 8.4 point lead overall, and then when you break that down into more specifics, you'll start to see, when you look at the states that are in play that are really going to swing this. Looking at this graphic here, and again, you can't see this, but when you look at the states that are leaning towards Biden, Trump cannot win, or has a very limited. If he loses any of these states, he has a very limited to none. If he loses multiple of them, it just keeps getting bad. Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Arizona, Pennsylvania, any of those states go to Biden, and Trump's options start to freeze up really, really fast.
Yeah, I think Pennsylvania is the big one. It looks like the Pennsylvania votes are actually starting to come in now on the map of doom.
Yeah. So it jumped up to 10. It was at 9. But as you look at these things, it's Pennsylvania was not expected to go Trump's way. I know that he put a lot of emphasis there towards the end. And when we say that they're putting a lot of emphasis in, when they're saying that they put a lot of emphasis into it, it's not just the emphasis of them campaigning there. You have to keep in mind that Pennsylvania, because of gerrymandering, has a lot of Republican districting in it, and the Republicans there have spent an awful lot of time trying to change the rules on the way the absentee and early ballots are read. They tried to push through, I believe that was the state where they were trying to push through, that every ballot in the state had to be opened by midnight tonight. And that got thrown out. So there was a lot of challenges to the way they're going to calculate these votes, because Trump knew that they needed to take some away. It's the same thing in Texas. In Texas, they were trying to discount 127,000 votes because they didn't like the drive-up ballots, or the drive-up voting where you could drop off your ballot. That, last I saw, at the federal level had been shot down. But they're trying to discount these votes to make sure that swing goes the other way. But if you look in Pennsylvania right now, where the votes at 10% in, luckily even, and we're not even close to that. If these percentages hold, in this case, 127,000 votes would not win the election for Trump. So we really want to keep pushing that and make sure that these margins are. But in many states, that's likely what they're going to have to do. Is they're likely going to have to try and pull those votes away from cast votes. They're going to have to try and figure out how to separate those from the count, and that's where the question on a lot of the legal issues coming forward for the next few days. But you had asked specifically about Pennsylvania, so let me go to Pennsylvania real fast.
Yeah, I thought there's a handful of just those keystone states where you had to get it.
Yeah.
I thought Pennsylvania was one of those.
And it absolutely was. So as we're saying, you look at the analytics, Biden's ahead in Pennsylvania by 4.7 votes. The significance about that is
4.7%.
Sorry, 4.7%. The significance of that is that's outside of the general margin of error.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were complaining during 2016 that Hillary was picked to win, and she absolutely was. But by and large, the votes did come back within the margin of error. So it was a much closer race. Statistically, when you look at it, it has been nearly 100 years since any candidate had such a significant lead for such a significant amount of time. Biden has been averaging nationally 10 or so points ahead of Trump nationally since June. So there are some really good statistics when you're starting to look at that. Also with just organizations, newspapers, retired Republican leaders and military leaders, we've never seen an exodus quite this heavy from Republican rank and file that are leaning towards voting for a Democrat. So if you need a stand for that makes a nice little stand.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so in Pennsylvania, right now, again, the analytics, they're predicting that Biden's about 84% chance of winning that state. Other states we're looking at, let's go North Carolina.
The other thing that I want to,
That's North Dakota.
the other thing I'm going to look up real quick is when are the polls closing?
In which state? In Pennsylvania, it's 8 o'clock.
Okay, so that's an hour ago. Yeah.
I think that said. Yeah, I believe polls are closed there now. Now that's if people were still in line, which often takes a little while, and then how all those votes get filtered back in.
Yeah. So Pennsylvania, 8 o'clock. Florida 7. Ohio 7 o'clock, and that's local. Okay, yeah.
It's so funny to see Florida right now, the way the numbers are being turned in. Florida is leaning Trump, and yet Texas is equally leaning Biden.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy that you would win Florida, or a Republican would take Florida and not Texas in the same election.
yeah. So once we get out west, like Arizona is going to be one of those states also that is they're trying to say it has been kind of going towards being a swing state, or a swing state. But again, it's leaning towards the Democrats. Right now, it's 2.6%, which again is really, really close to that margin of error, and it could go either way. But depending on what happens in those previously mentioned 5 battleground states, depending what happens there, Arizona becomes incredibly important for Trump, because if he loses Pennsylvania, North Carolina, instantly he cannot lose Arizona. When you start looking, he start having to have surprise wins out west, and that becomes more and more unlikely, because once you get to the West Coast, it's a done deal. So as we look at that, it'll be kind of interesting moving forward. But see, one of the other ones they were looking at was Wisconsin. Wisconsin was definitely going to be one that was kind of in play, I think.
They close at 9, I believe.
So here we go. Wisconsin. I thought at one point was still being considered a battleground, but Biden's handily 8.4% above in the statistics right now.
Interesting.
So that's definitely one that's probably not going to come into play for Trump. We haven't seen anything yet, and again, we'll see more of that as we start moving west.
Zoom into Michigan. Let's see what Michigan's doing now.
Okay, so Michigan, again, we've got very, very low numbers. They're not even showing a percentage from what I'm seeing right here, as far as the percentage of vote that's in. But total there, we're looking under 600,000 votes total recorded up to now. And so that should fill out a lot more in the next few hours.
And I think Michigan's polls closed at, is that 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock? Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
Should be interesting. Let's see.
Michigan was definitely one to keep an eye on.
It is. I'll have to see what happens. I wish we could go in and see these numbers. I don't know if you can look it up.
Sure. What do you want me to look up?
I want to look up in South Carolina. So clearly Trump is winning there and is going to win. I wonder if we hit this full detail. Hopefully that doesn't screw up anything. Here we go. So South Carolina Senate race. That's what I want to see right here.
Oh yeah, shit.
Pretty close. I'm sure it's a lot closer than what Graham wants it to be. Again, our percent, we're looking at 15% in, but we're pulling for Graham to choke on his soup. Let's see what happens there.
Well, Graham, and then what? See if we can get some information on Kentucky. It'd be curious to see if Kentucky went for Trump but not McConnell.
Well, and again, I'm not, we'll go check it out, but I'm not going to hold my breath here.
No, I know.
Uh-oh, it could be us. Yeah, it's you. Sorry, the group that we had engaged for our technical support on this ballot information is failing for us, but we'll have to. Can you look that up?
Well, it looks like McConnell wins re-election in Kentucky, defeating Amy McGrath. That's already been called.
Well, here we go. Hold on. This is going to be very late breaking, so late that everybody knew it before us. Yeah, that's depressing. But again, it is what we thought it was going to be. The other side of that is we've got to remember that the good thing that she did there was force the Republicans to pull focus from other places so that they can support him and get that win for them. That's an important win for the Republicans. Unfortunately, he's just a dick.
Yeah. I wonder how his gangrene is doing.
Oh, yeah. Did anybody ever announce what happened to him?
No.
Oh, well. So
might be leprosy. We don't know.
We're starting to see information filter in. Pennsylvania is now up to 14%. 14%. That puts numbers are getting there, but it's still early, way too early to see to call it official. But I don't see how that's going to go any other way.
Is there a new wall installed around the White House recently?
Yeah, actually, they were talking about, and just like in LA and New York and everywhere else, all the major places, they've installed a quote-unquote unscalable wall. I hope they did a better job than they did the southern border.
Yeah, I was about to say, those are... I don't necessarily trust this administration when it comes to wall building.
Yeah. I think the military did this one, though, instead of it being military money. Okay, Ohio. Biden's pulling ahead there, which is good. We're at a little over 50%, 52% in Ohio. And again, look, it's what we expected anywhere where their people live, tend to lean towards education. I mean, Biden instead of the other one, but yeah. So that one's comfortably pulling ahead. We like seeing that. we'll check back in on Texas. We're still not seeing really percentages. I'm not seeing a lot of percentages listed here as far as... Oh, no, here it is, 65%.
You want to throw the map back up?
Here we go. We are 65% reporting. Biden's ahead. So this would be an interesting one because if this one turns, even if he... hold on. Somebody... They made a projection and then they cut it out. The Biden's electoral votes jumped up to 59.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that.
And then jumped back down, so we'll have to see what happened there. This would be interesting to keep following because if this stays of that trend, even if he wins Florida, which would really be depressing for us as Floridians, but we'll have to see. 92%. And Trump is... His lead is not diminishing.
That may be you needing to refresh your browser. Yeah. 59 on Biden. Oh, they in New York. New York just came in.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
Yeah. New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Delaware.
That's fun. Our map went away.
Lost the map.
I blame you.
Sounds fair. What else we have? We have any other interesting races they are calling here? Right now, House Control. Let's see what this graphic means.
I didn't think the House shouldn't be in play. I think it's just going to be the Senate.
Yeah, the Senate definitely was. Democrats aim to flip Senate after 6 years of Republican rule. Let's see how they see how the House is doing or the Senate's doing.
Let's see.
I like how America has managed to take politics and leadership and basically turn it into fantasy football.
That's true. That's true.
How's your defense look? Oh, defense looking pretty good. Offense isn't bad, though. Just drafted a new quarterback. We have to bench him.
Ooh. There we go.
We're back.
That's what we want to see. So, I think we take a break and drink some rum.
That sounds like a good plan. Need to get more ice.
We will. And at this moment, we're gonna just go back and hit our station identification. Here we go.
INN, the Inappropriate News Network, your last resort for world news.
And I'm back. Garrick is on a drinking run. Get some ice. You know what? We have a couple more states that just came in. Biden's jumped up to 73. Let's see, when we look at what's been projected. I'm going to throw this over there. 73, of course.
INN, the Inappropriate News Network, your last resort for world news.
So, yes, we're looking at New York's been called, Vermont's been called, Massachusetts, all these up here. The New Jersey clearly is going to Biden. Delaware and Maryland both getting called for Biden. All these are expected. None of them are a surprise at all. So we'll keep going with that. A lot of calls while you were out of the newsroom.
73.
Yeah, 73. So and it's all expected stuff. Vermont, Massachusetts, Delaware, Rhode Island, Maine.
Vermont.
New Jersey.
Vermont's still a state?
Vermont is still a state.
Huh.
I think they're known for ice cream up there. Of course, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Oklahoma is all showing for Mr. Trump.
Solid.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting for me. Biden's winning Kansas right now, but again, that's just with 37%, so we'll see that change. Texas is it's narrowing a little bit for Trump. I mean, that's not a surprise, 65%. And then we go over to Florida, and Biden is slightly pulling ahead. I'm curious here in Florida is if those early votes have been counted and have been put in there. We know that for early voting, it'd be really, really easy for that number to sway when I think in the state of Florida we had 5 or 6 million early votes. Does that sound right?
Yeah, no, the early voting in the state was off the charts.
So if the early votes have not been turned in, these numbers can change drastically. It's going to be kind of interesting. And this is what everybody's been warned about, is the fact that without really understanding what those votes are, it's going to look really, really strong for Trump early on.
Mm-hmm.
And so we wouldn't know. And we won't know tonight entirely yet.
Well, what's interesting is, yes, it typically it looks like it's going Trump early on, and as of right now, it's not.
Yeah. So,
because the big ones we want to keep an eye on: Arizona, obviously. I don't think New Mexico was on that list.
No,
Texas definitely. Texas is interesting to watch. Illinois, that's another good one. Illinois, Wisconsin.
Well, let's go through some of these real fast. Let's New Mexico, that was one, 11.7%, in Biden's favor. This is on 538 based on projections. So, that's good. Colorado was one that I think was considerably closer than some of the other ones. No, it's saying it's right there. It's 12.5%. So Colorado should be handy. Illinois, Biden by 16%. So, and actually right now, compared to earlier, we were looking at it and it was showing. We were showing Illinois, and as a whole, it was showing Illinois leaning towards Trump, and here we are 11% leaning very heavily back the other direction. So that is what is kind of expected. What other states were you're curious about?
Michigan, obviously, that's a good one.
Michigan, about 7.9 points ahead for Biden. That's based on projections. Things can always change. So that's going to be one of those ones where early on with 16% in, a couple 100,000 votes can, completely be drowned out very quickly.
Yeah, and right now, with 32% in Georgia specifically, Trump is at 57, Biden 41. But that's only 32% in. So
yeah, and this is a clear battleground. The early projections had Biden by 1.2%, which in this realm is nothing. That could mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So there's no surprises there. But that's definitely going to be a toss-up. And we're only at 32% in what's going on there.
Yeah. I'm
surprised to see Missouri so blue. That's never going to happen ever.
That seems wrong.
Yeah.
I know currently for Senate control they had Democrats listed at 38, Republicans 35. Yeah, the big race to 50. So it'll be interesting to see where that ends up later. I know that not all the seats are in play, but
yeah. I think last I heard is a good safe projection. The Democrats are definitely supposed to get it back, but whether that's 51 seats or 54 seats, it's still.
I don't want to definitely say anything.
Yeah. You can be a skeptic.
I'm going to skeptic the shit out of this.
It'd be interesting to look up and see. I'll do that real fast. See how our very hated friend Susan Collins.
Ooh, yeah.
So, just as of the last polling data, had getting up by 8% there in testing.
Really?
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, looking at it right now, in Maine, Collins is ahead with 2% in. So
yeah. There's too much going to happen still for that to be important or any other direction.
yeah, it'll be curious to see what it'll be curious to see where that ends up. 56.6% with 9,617 votes.
Yeah, long way to go.
I don't know. It's Maine. How many voters are in Maine?
Can you pass the rum?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Fantastic. This segment is brought to you by Bamboo.
Most of our segments are brought to us by Bamboo.
The funny thing is I thought I was going to not drink very much this week, but at least I didn't drink yesterday.
No, yesterday was a pretty dry day. Why does the map have a funny line through Georgia? Is that South Georgia, North Georgia?
Maybe it just means that there's no longer Georgia.
Crossing it out.
I don't know. Let's go back to Florida because it's depressing. Still at 52%, and a disparity. Actually, it's starting to slightly lean back the other way. We were right at 3% of the vote.
Throw the map up.
Yeah.
If you're going to talk map, you got to show map.
Yeah, good point. In the future, we got to work on having a technical person to do this, so all we have to do is talk. That would be ideal. So
I thought that was the whole reason we brought Matt back to life.
And then he did this instead. He didn't come. Matt, he let us down. Again, so 53% reporting, and then we just had a jump in numbers again, so 316,000. It was up closer to 400,000, so swinging back a little bit towards Biden. Again, just not knowing what's going on with the votes for the absentee. We just don't know what's happening. I see a lot of colors swinging out. Again, these aren't going to be surprises. Louisiana.
You could throw up the breaking news. Throw up the breaking news logo.
Well, we don't have any. They're not calling any of this yet, though.
I'm going to call them.
Uh-oh. That one got called. Here we go.
It is now 9:14 p.m. Eastern, and the Inappropriate News Network is prepared to call North Dakota for Trump.
Yeah. Big surprise there. North Dakota, well, let's go in and look at those numbers.
Both of the people in North Dakota voted for Trump.
Yeah, with 7% in, we're at about 25,000 votes. That's got a long way to go before the numbers all in, but there's no way that all those gun-toting ranchers are going to vote for no socialist liberal.
Have you ever been to the bustling metropolis of Bismarck?
No. You could have named any city in a Dakota, and I would have said no. I've never been to Dakotas.
Is Fargo in North or South Dakota?
I think it's in North.
That's 2 cities in North Dakota I know.
Well, if anybody out there in YouTube land wants to chat with us, just send us a little note.
And if you know anybody in Bismarck, North Dakota, I'm sorry.
Very good. So Colorado's starting to come in. We see it light up.
Grand Forks. Bismarck, Fargo, and Grand Forks.
There you go. 14% coming in for Colorado, and it is largely swung in the direction of Biden. In fact, so large that it is 2/3 of the vote currently counted go towards Biden. We like to see that. Somebody's making a projection, too, because we just saw his numbers light up again.
Ooh, Texas went pink.
Yeah, well, we were expecting that was going to happen at some point. But it's literally less than 1,000 votes. Or, maybe a little over 1,000 votes, but it's not a surprise there. That's not a big surprise at all. Trump's numbers go up too. So, yeah, they are calling South Dakota is being called for Trump at this point. And
he sweeps the Dakotas.
Trying to see. Biden jumped up a couple. I don't know where that came from.
Colorado, Kansas, Missouri.
Well, Kansas, Missouri, they're not going to go for. That's not going to be a thing.
Wisconsin, that could be a thing. Michigan, that's an interesting one, though.
Well, it was only went up a couple, so it's going to be a smaller populated area. Vermont had already gone. Maine is too early. Maybe it was Connecticut. Had that gone before? That might have been a new one. Anyway, Biden's up to 80.
Oh, yeah, Connecticut. That was it. Trump wins South Dakota. Biden wins Connecticut.
No surprises on any of those.
No.
It's still 190 electoral votes to go for Biden for him to get there. We'll have to see what happens.
I think Biden's going to take Oregon.
Yeah.
I think. Should we call it now?
Sure.
No, we don't need to call it now.
Too late to hit the button.
9:18 p.m. Eastern. Inappropriate News Network is prepared to go out on a limb, call Oregon for Biden before any other network. You heard it here first.
Yeah. We are on the cutting edge of predictions.
We need to jump onto our sponsors map and Photoshop that in blue. Just paint bucket tool that for Biden.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's the way that slide's set up. We'll do better next year. Let's be honest. We probably won't do this next year because it'll be an off-cycle election and we won't care. Nobody will care.
I'll care. There's got to be a House seat or something going on, right?
Nebraska just came and played. Nebraska is actually really interesting because they've only got 5 electoral votes, but it's not a winner-take-all state.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the first time anybody's called Nebraska interesting.
Well, it's one of those ones that I believe for those 5 votes, I think it's going to end up going 2 to 3, with 3 votes going to Trump. But we'll have to see how that works out. A lot of red down here now. Very depressing. Every time a state turns red, I drink.
We should have updated our drinking game for today.
We should have. I think I'm going to hand this off to you for a minute because I have to go on location to a sewage system.
Sounds good. If you come back with pretzels, I won't complain.
Let's see if we can make that happen.
Let's play with the map of doom. So, as interesting as this may be, I don't know how to use Greg's ThinkPad. Let's see what we got here. Montana, nothing. Wyoming, Montana. Why is this mouse off by just enough? I managed to screw something up. Whoop. Yeah, Texas is just really interesting to watch. A battleground state, 38 electoral votes. Trump, and they're basically tied right now. It's going to be really curious to see how this ends up filling out. Fort Worth is kind of interesting right now. Dallas, that's expected. Houston, expected. The Austin area, I know, is booming right now. So looking at all of the counties around Austin coming in, it's going to be interesting to see, how those districts shake out. San Antonio, and then also, down close to the Mexico border. Just looking at all the blue down there. That's also interesting to see. But as we mentioned before, there is a lot of dirt that hasn't voted yet.
Greg Green pretzels? Mind your own business.
Hell yeah, I want cheesy boobs.
How fun is this? 5 viewers. That's fun. If you are watching the live stream, sound off on the chat. Let us know you're here. That's an order.
Also, I think I accidentally scrolled the map thingy. Because your touchpad is weird as hell.
No, it's not.
It's weird.
Oh, yeah, you boogered it up.
I figured.
It's not resetting. I fixed it.
Yay.
Crisis averted.
This is a professional organization here.
It's fun.
These peanut butter pretzel bites?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oop. Sorry. Really crowded here. We lost a viewer. I'm depressed.
Yeah, the Inappropriate Studios are definitely set up for podcasting and not live streaming.
This is true. I think we need more gear.
I think we need more studio. So there's absolutely no hope of pulling people back into the Zoom call with audio?
I think it's a significant technical overhaul.
Yeah, probably not going to do that then.
Yeah. So I checked all 4 places I know to do that, make sure that there's audio signal and we're not getting any signal from it whatsoever.
Buddy might just send me a comment. Can someone explain to me why people that hated a Cuban dictator would vote for an American one? Yeah, I don't, yeah. I stopped trying to understand humans a long time ago.
Well, it's surprising to me how willing people are to vote against their own self-interest. That's just me. It's like they're afraid to vote for a candidate who's going to raise taxes for people who make over $400,000. And again, keep in mind that that's $400,000 of adjusted gross income. Anybody who makes significant amounts of money have the ability to hire really good accountants to write off all of their income. A great example of this is Donald J. Trump, that writes off all of their taxes. Now, if you make not a lot of money and you not have other investments in business opportunity, you lack the ability to write those off. There you are, making under $400,000, not having any taxes changed to you, if not your taxes going down. But the interesting thing here is, I think, as Americans, we look at it and say, yeah, but I want to be able to make that, so I don't want you to screw up the system I might be in one day. Because we all like to think that we're going to get there. That's the American dream. So, let me refresh the screen over here and we'll see what's going on.
How many house races were on the line tonight?
House?
Yeah.
I didn't follow it. I think just because of the cycle, it wasn't that many. I don't know why this isn't refreshing at all in here.
Stupid cycle.
We'll see. We're down to two. We're like really losing a crowd. We're down to 2 watchers, and you're one of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm on.
Oh. Want to bail on this and just go to the Zoom?
I'm half tempted to. Yeah. Maybe we could just live stream the Zoom. You can just put everybody in on Zoom onto this, and then see if you can't fix the audio. And we can
Actually,
chat. And we can chat while we're on Zoom.
I can absolutely. I can just Zoom. I can just stream the Zoom meeting.
Do it.
Okay. Well, it just means that we have to redo it, but this would just end this here. Ladies and gentlemen,
Tune back in shortly. We're gonna cut over to a cooler party.
yeah, the one other person joining this, yeah. So there you go.
Hey, the one other person viewing this, we'll invite you to the Zoom meeting. Just send us your contact info. We'll